In Fallout New Vegas, you start off as a mild-mannered courier who has been kidnapped by a 50s gangster stereotype and his goons. They scare you into giving them your package by taking you to an open grave and pointing a gun at your head. When you actually give them the package, the 50s gangster man shoots you in the head and buries you. Wow, that was a short game. Well, it turns out that being shot in the head is just a minor inconvenience for you and was just a really silly excuse to get you to customize your character. The character creation is pretty good if you liked Fallout 3's. I say this because it is Fallout 3's. No real changes, just a few more hair options. When you make your character, you can also choose up to 2 traits. There's not a lot to choose from, and each one of them are things like shoot 20% more accurately, but also shoot 20% slower. There's one called Wild Wasteland that's supposed to make you like a weirdness magnet, but during my playthrough, it didn't really seem to have any effect at all. Graphically, Fallout New Vegas is, well, terrible. Fallout 3 had some pretty bad graphics as well, yet somehow, despite just recycling almost every frame and texture, New Vegas actually looks a bit worse. And the music, when it's actually there, is also really bad. And still, most of it is just taken from Fallout 3 again. Combat in this game is, wait for it, exactly the same as Fallout 3. The VATS system works exactly the same, melee and gun physics are exactly the same, and the enemy AI is exactly the same. The leveling system is almost the same. The difference here is that they rebalanced how exactly the special stats affect you, and now you can pick a new perk every other level instead of after each level. And to make it really easy to get money, you can gamble. You can choose from playing blackjack, trying your luck at roulette, and also can play slot machines. Craps tables exist, but you can't actually use them for some reason. The fact that you can save and load in this game completely removes any risks gambling may have, making it incredibly easy to get a lot of money. The only downside is that if you win too much, the casino bans you from gambling anymore. Now, the big problem with this game? It's crawling with bugs. I mean, it has a metric fuckton of bugs and glitches. It will stutter and freeze up constantly. NPCs and enemies will very often fall through the floor. Enemies will sometimes be invincible for a short amount of time when they have 1 hit point left because the game wants to set them to fleeing mode but has forgotten how to. There are a myriad of graphical glitches involving your guns, and many, many more. Now, as for the main storyline, well, it's pretty mediocre overall, though the fact that there are story-altering choices does help a bit, but I found it really hard to get into since all the factions are really bland cookie-cutter stereotypes. The New Vegas Strip is just full of 50s gangster stereotypes, the NCR are just an overly oppressive government stereotype, and the Legion are a psychotic anarchist stereotype. The Brotherhood of Steel from the previous games are here as well, so really, all your choices for who to side with all suck. The side quests and characters are much more interesting than the main ones. Now, in this version of the game, there's a new play mode called Hardcore Mode. If you choose to turn that on, your character will be required to sleep, eat, and stay hydrated, and ammo will have weight. Some people may like to play that way, but when I tried it, I found it to be tedious, boring, and generally take away from the experience of actually playing the game. And also, like the previous game, you can find companions to come along with you. Unlike the previous game, though, these characters are actually useful. They're good in combat, they don't permanently die, as they just fall unconscious when they lose all their health, and they give you additional perks. Overall, this game looks like crap, has a crap soundtrack, and feels more like an expansion pack than a new game, as most of what you do will definitely give you a feeling of been there, done that. And if you enjoyed Fallout 3 as much as I did, then you're going to love this game despite its flaws. And you'll get a lot of playtime as long as you don't rush through the story or break sequence, which, by the way, is very possible and will make speedrunners very happy. And as a side note, anyone familiar with this game's developers, Obsidian, we're expecting a game with good customization and that's very fun to play, but is also a buggy mess. And that's exactly what we got. This is because that every single game they've ever made is exactly like this. So, Obsidian, if you're watching this, hire people to test your games before releasing them. So, if you're an RPG nut like I am, buy this game and save very often. Thank you for watching and see you next time.